When the calendar reads October, there's a couple of things that you can be sure of. It's going to be a little bit colder outside. The flavors caramel apple and pumpkin spice are going to be everywhere. And all of a sudden, everybody's going to try to start scaring you. You can't turn on the TV or go into a store without running into something that's designed to freak you out. It's ghosts and goblins and blood and gore and horror and death and mummies and all of this stuff that's just designed to make us scared. The question is, what are you afraid of? Like, really afraid of. Not just the haunted house freak you out, startle you scared, but what are you deep down really afraid of? What scares you? Because if we're honest, the haunted houses that would really freak us out wouldn't have goblins and ghosts and witches and bloody knives and everything jumping out at us. We're afraid of the future. We're afraid of relationships and love. We're afraid of losing our jobs. We're afraid that people won't like us and won't include us. We all have different fears. Your fears aren't my fears and my fears aren't your fears. What requires me to be brave may be very easy for you and vice versa, and that's okay. The question then becomes, how do you face your fear? Former San Francisco firefighter and author Caroline Paul said this. She has the idea of micro-bravery, that you're brave in very small doses through very small steps. Don't look at the big fear, the big obstacle. Break it down into micro steps so that you can be micro-brave. Most people don't go cold turkey and go from being afraid of heights to skydiving. There's little steps in between. And that's the same thing that you can do with those deep down fears, those things that really scare you. Yeah, you'll risk rejection. Yeah, you'll feel vulnerable. And yeah, it's scary. But facing our fears helps us grow. President Franklin D. Roosevelt famously said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror which paralyzes efforts to convert retreat into advance." In other words, fear stops us. Fear keeps us hiding in isolation, cowering, instead of moving forward so that we can grow and get better. You ever seen a haunted house be taken apart? The things that were so scary when you were walking through in the dark with the lights and the costumes and the fake blood and gore and the screams, suddenly they're not as scary when you're seeing them in the light, the actors out of costumes, and you see that it's just props. Many times what we're deeply afraid of, when we actually face it, when we see it for what it really is, it's not nearly as scary as we thought it was going to be. This week, try to face one of your fears. Not all at once, not in a big brave way, but in a micro brave way. Don't let fear keep you hiding. Start to face one of your fears, micro steps at a time, and you'll be amazed at how much growth you experience.